There you are. May I assume you've had your fill of rest? That is well. Now that we are all present, let us speak of our plan. Thus far, we have vanquished 4 Light Warriors, restoring Night to much of Norvrand. Only one remains, that of Kholusia, and with Reen to guide us, I am certain we will find it.
We're so close now. If we can just take care of this one last warden, we'll rob the Sin Eaters of their final foothold and drive them out of Norvrand once and for all. It will be a new beginning for the First, a chance for the people to rebuild their world.
In short, a prize worth fighting for.
And in thus delivering the First from destruction, so too shall we unsow the seeds of the 8th umbral calamity.
Do you hear? Your dreamed of rejoining is in jeopardy. Are you sure you're not tempted to intervene?
You labor under the misapprehension that vanquishing the Sin Eaters is tantamount to saving the world. It is not. In truth, you only delay the inevitable, lengthening your fleeting lives by the smallest of margins. Twould be churlish of me to deny you this small concession, close as we've become. Foolish and misguided though you are not without charm. Each and every one of you is possessed of a noble heart. When the weak want for succor, you do not hesitate to provide it. Alas, your nobility is short-sighted. You think only of the problem in front of your nose. A limitation of your ephemeral existence.
Our lives may seem short and insignificant to the likes of you, but one does not need to be an eternal being to achieve lasting change.
If I may stop you there, I do not claim that we Ascians are special. That is another misconception. In the beginning, everyone lived nigh for eternity. Such was the natural order of things. But like so much else, this was taken from you. You won't object if I borrow your plaything? In the distant past, when the world was one and whole, a great calamity threatened all life. It began without warning. The very laws of the star were warped and broken, and chaos swiftly spread throughout the land. Faced with annihilation, we sought to imbue the star with its own will. Thus was Zodiac born, and by his power was order restored. Ere long, however, thankless fools began to fear that Zodiac's might was too great, and so they conjured another to keep him in check. Your own dear Hydaelyn.
And the two beings waged war until, with a single devastating blow, Hydaelyn unmade Zodiac, scattering his being across space and time. So you told us in the Katana Ravel.
Yes. And there began our woes, with Hydaelyn's blow and all that it wrought. As a counterbalance to Zodiac, Hydaelyn was created with the power to enervate her foe. This singular ability strikes not at such banal things as flesh, but everything that defines the target, diluting its existence. For example, were she to strike you, two individuals, identical in appearance yet reduced in all respects. Strength, intelligence, the soul itself, all is halved. Do you see? This self-same fate befell not only Zodiac, but the very star. Only 3 were fortunate enough to escape the Sundering, me being one of them. When I beheld the shattered remnants of our home, I knew deepest despair. The inhabitants of these 14 fragments were feeble, frail and foolish, oblivious to their imperfection, ignorant of their past. Malformed creatures thrashing blindly about. Pitiful, disturbing, depressing. So, we took it upon ourselves to rejoin the worlds. But in our eagerness and, I confess, our ignorance, we erred and made a useless void of the 13th. It was only afterwards that we discovered a connection twixt source and shard, a flow of energy that maintains elemental balance. And thus did we arrive at our time-honored modus operandi.
From a purely Ascian standpoint, it could be said that what you seek to do is only logical. But that would be to ignore the immeasurable destruction wrought with each rejoining. You have murdered millions, and this we cannot condone.
By your fragmented existence, you continue to give rise to tragedies far crueler than any calamity. But yes, moral relativism and all that. Case in point, I do not consider you to be truly alive, ergo I will not be guilty of murder if I kill you. Oh, don't look at me like that. You for whom I have only the highest expectations. A vaunted hero of the Source, 7 times rejoined. Long have I awaited one who might brave a path of lesser tragedy. A resilient soul able to endure the necessary pain. I dare to hope that my wait is over. So, finish your task and slay the Light Warden. Make proof of your usefulness, and then we may speak again.
Forgive me, my lord, but this could not wait.
Speak freely, Captain.
Our informant in Kholusia sends word of unusual activity in Yulmur. It appears their forces are entrenching themselves at key points throughout the city, making ready for an attack by all indications.
An intriguing use of resources. I rather doubt Lord Vorthry is concerned for the safety of his citizens.
You think he's harboring the Light Warden inside the city walls? Even if he does have some means of controlling the Sin Eaters, wouldn't that be a little risky?
Risky or not, if there is even a chance the Warden is hiding there, we will need to act fast. The longer we wait, the better prepared the Yulmorans will be.
Agreed. See to your preparations then and make for Kholusia. God's willing, this hunt will be the last. Let us see it through to the end.
We should begin by assembling in Rite. There we may assess the situation in Yulmore and decide how best to proceed.
Strange. Passing strange. By their behavior, we may safely assume that they are under Vorthri's mind control. Yet the extent of the effect seemeth to vary dramatically between subjects. It is far too pronounced to be attributed simply to the vagaries of innate magical resistance.
Curiouser and curiouser. We met with no trouble en route. My thanks for securing the way. But given the state of the townsfolk, I see we were never in any danger of being recognized.
What can you tell us from here?
I sense a powerful eater in the uppermost reaches of the city. But there's something different about it. Its light is impure. We need to get closer.
Oh, so that one's Alphino. Well, unless you're triplets.
Kaishir, what are you doing here?
While I was scouting the area, I noticed a suspicious figure skulking about. So I accosted him, only to have him call me Alphino. I thought it best to bring him along.
You see, that informant who's been feeding secrets to the Crystarium, it's me. See, after you saved my life in Yulmore, I thought about going somewhere far away, but I couldn't just leave, not without paying you back. So I decided to stay here, keep an eye on things, and whenever I spotted something strange, I shared it with your friends.
That took no small amount of courage. Well done.
I assume you saw what happened here.
Right, so an airship flew in a bit ago, and not long after, Vorfrey starts ranting and raving. You could hear him from all the way out here. Geezer was doing his nut, shouting and screaming like someone had nicked his pie.
'Tis like the airship bore the soldiers sent to thwart our efforts in Armorang.
So eventually the yelling dies down, and then this hot, sticky wind comes blowing through. Now that's when everyone went funny. No, everyone but me. Well, me and a couple of newcomers, though even they started mumbling about Vorfrey after a while. Not as bad as the rest, mind you.
Newcomers.
There's something I need Reen to see. This was among the townfolk's food stores.
Oh, that's just meal. Yulmore doles the stuff out.
No, it couldn't be. I know what it is. It's Sin Eater. Meal is made out of Sin Eater.
So it is. In limited quantities, it may have little effect on an average individual. Yet if one were to consume it regularly, over a period of several years, I suspect it would do far, far more than merely nourish the body.
That Vorfrey wieldeth power over Sin-Eaters is known. Could it be that those who partake of their flesh do thereby render themselves susceptible to his influence? 'Twould serve to explain why the town's newer arrivals succumbed less quickly than those raised on a diet of meal.
He's been rounding up Sin Eaters and feeding them to people, altering them mouthful by mouthful, all to stop them answering back. There are desperate souls out there killing themselves to escape turning. This is unforgivable. An atrocity.
These Sin-Eaters. What if they are not simply rounded up? Do you remember what we were told when first we came to the city? Many enter, but none leave. Let us put an end to it. To this paradise built upon the bones of the poor. Vorfrey's deeds are beyond justification, beyond forgiveness. Evil.
It's highly probable that the Light Warden is waiting for us somewhere in there, and I'm all for going after it. But our enemies know our faces. They know that we are coming, and they will not let us through without a fight. Like it or not, the time for stealth is past. Now, my friend, if you would be so good as to lead the charge.
I can feel it. A dark presence in my domain. The villains who would sow chaos in my perfect paradise! Keep them away from me! I command you! Keep them away!
Long live Lord Vorthri.
He would use his own people as shields.
This area is older than Gate Town. There are bound to be far more civilians under Vorthri's control. But they do not act of their own free will, and we must not harm them.
As if we ever would. Press on with Alphino. We'll hold off the civilians and join you as soon as we can.
You funny bone. No more Mrs. Nice Jester.
You will find my master in his chamber. But only should you kill me this day, and you will not. You may think me under his spell, but I uphold Lord Vorthri's ideals of my own volition. Man is an inherently flawed creature. In his vain pursuit of righteousness, he but sows the seeds of future conflict. Thus, have I chosen to place my hopes upon he who has transcended men, upon he who is unbound by the vagaries of conscience. But enough talk. I am a soldier, and you are my enemy. Let us settle this once and for all.
Lord Vorthri! Your reign of tyranny is at an end! For too long you have preyed upon the desperation of the poor. Now you will answer for the suffering you have caused! And if you harbor even a shred of remorse, I beseech you to use your powers to redress the balance. For the future of all in Norvrant.
No, it can't be. This is wrong. It's wrong. The Warden, it's not just a Sin Eater. It's a man.
Remorse? For the future of all? What nonsense is this? There is no justice but mine. No future but mine. No will but mine. It is preordained. I was born to deliver this wretched world. Me? Unseated? No. It's impossible. Inconceivable. Absurd. I am a great and wise king. Greatest and wisest. I reign from on high. I will not be brought low by maggots like you! Ah! Oh, yes, of course. I can begin again. Rebuild my paradise. Once I finish my dinner.
Oh God, no. Stop him! Thancred, stop him!
Where did he go? In the heavens?
Did Vorthri do that?
Wait! That is Mount Gorg, the highest peak in Kholusia. It lies on the other side of a sheer cliff, and much as I wish it were otherwise, it is beyond our reach for now. But even if it weren't, there are people here who need our help.
Oh, Alphino.
Please, even if it's only to tend to their wounds. Thank you.
I don't know if it will work, but if Vorthri's hold over the people is rooted in light, I might be able to reverse its effects. Will you let me try?
Of course. We'd be grateful for any help you can provide.
Well then, if it's decided, let's all get to work.
You're going to be all right.
I think that's the last of them.
We've done all we can for the wounded. As for the rest...
Aren't you Alphino? The painter boy? What in the world is going on? Did something happen to us?
Let me handle this. Citizens of Yulmore, what I'm about to tell you will come as a shock. Indeed, you may be loath to believe it, but if you trust the evidence of your senses, it is my hope that you will listen and accept the truth, unpalatable though it may be. Vorthri is a sin-eater. Everything he offered, everything he promised, was a lie.
They're not taking it well, and who could blame them?
Are you saying we were Vorthri's puppets all this time?
When you attacked us, you were not yourselves. That much is true. But your conduct prior to that moment was your own. Vorthri's unnatural charisma does not absolve you of all responsibility. Of your own free will, you came to this city and gave yourselves over to its pleasures. And in the course of this, if you mistreated those less fortunate than you, then that too was of your own free will. It is not for me to judge you, but for your victims, for history, for your conscience. You have dreamed a twisted dream, but now you are awake. You may yet share this world of ours. Join with us and each other, that we might begin anew. We've lost so many already. We dare not lose any more. I have said my piece. My thanks for giving me the chance. There is nothing more to be done here. Let us go after Vor 3.
Is there anything we can do to help? You risked your lives to bring us to our senses, and I, for one, hope to repay that debt. Begin anew, as you said.
Vor 3 has fled to Mount Gulg, and we mean to pursue him. Do any of you know the way?
The only way to Mount Gulg is over the Bright Cliff. Have you an airship?
We will contemplate flight only as a last resort. Were we to come under attack whilst airborne, we would have little hope of defending ourselves. If at all possible, we would prefer to travel by land. Is there a way?
The ladder is the only way up and down the cliff, but it hasn't moved in a long time. In the old days, it was operated by the mining folk who lived at the top. After the flood, it saw less and less use, and when Lord Vor 3 took control, it was abandoned altogether.
So we somehow need to get the ladder working again.
It moves by means of a Talos, if that's any help. But good luck repairing that.
Talos? Did someone say Talos? You know all about them, don't you, dearest? If anyone can get this lift moving, it's you.
Well, perhaps. But see here.
Oh, yes. If you want the golem restored, you may leave it to my husband. For he happens to be the heir to Daedalus Stoneworks, foremost makers of Talos, whose contracts include the renowned mining venture of Armoreng.
It's been years and years since I had anything to do with it. I can't just pick up a hammer and set to work.
You can't.
No, that's not what I... It's just... All right, I will take a look at the Talos. But beyond that, I make no promises. Those with strong backs, come with me. I'll need help dragging the damn thing out of the storehouse.
Well done, brother.
Come, my friend. We have work to do.
Would you look at that? The citizens of Yulmore engaging in what can only be described as manual labor. Who would have thought it possible? Do you know the most reliable way to deal with those who stubbornly refuse to see reason? You conquer them, crush them under heel. Such was the trusted method of Alec, and one still favored by Garlemald. But conquest is the easy part. The true challenge begins once the dust has settled, quenching the glowing embers of animosity and maintaining a semblance of peace. This requires the conqueror to treat the conquered with dignity, and the conquered to let bygones be bygones, a difficult feat to achieve. But you have achieved just that, to my considerable surprise. It's a compliment. Take it. The vibrant energy that fills the air when like-minded souls gather. To think back on that time before time, fair brings a tear to the eye. What? You thought ancient beings like us incapable of crying? Well, rest assured that if your heart can be broken, then so can mine. Back when the world was whole, we had family, friends, loves. Men knew peace and contentment, and with our adamant souls, we could live for an age. There was no conflict born of want or disparity. Our differences paled into insignificance next to all we had in common. And then there was Amarok. Never was a city more magnificent. From the humblest streets to the highest spires, she fairly gleamed. Not that you would remember any of this. Never mind. The point is, the world of old was a far better place than what we have now. I believe you would like it, having witnessed the things you have. Remember, you are of the source. Unlike the half-men here, you stand only to gain. Should you survive the remaining calamities, you will become our equal, a complete existence in a complete world. But such talk is a pleasure for later. Back to work, hero. There was one thing I had meant to ask. How well do you know the Exarch? Has he ever deigned to show you what hides beneath the cowl? What? Never? Even to you? How very interesting. I shall enjoy working out what it means. Until next time.
I never doubted you for a moment.
It's alive. I don't know if you remember, but when we first met in this world, I was all but spent. I never thought to wonder why until now. I think it all just got to be too much. The guilt of causing the flood. Knowing everyone hated me. But the worst thing was the solitude. Time wears you down, aye. But solitude eats away at you. It was this close to finishing me off. But as bad as it got, and as empty as I felt, I can't even begin to imagine what it must be like for Emet-Selch. All of which is a long way of saying, don't make a choice that leaves you alone. Nothing is worth that, especially not eternity.
Glad tidings, my friend. The ladder lives again.
The three of us have been invited to do the honors. Are you up for it? Of course, if you're worried that the whole thing might come crashing down, we can always find someone else. That's the spirit. Come on then.
We rode the ladder too, my comrades and I. Once upon a time. Watched the horizon grow, and the town shrink below us. Awed and terrified in equal measure, we ascended without a word, the silence broken only by the rhythm of the gears. No one but me remembers that day. Remembers our journey and our end. Retread the path. Seek, and you may yet find.
You're a sight for sore eyes. I don't know about you, but I bumped into quite a few sin eaters out there. You too, then. It seems the closer we get to Mount Gulg, the more of them there are. Looks a lot bigger from here, doesn't it? If I were Vorthri, the first thing I'd do is surround myself with as many sin eaters as I could lay my hands on. And judging by the number we've already faced, his lordship is of the same mind. This is going to be a tough climb. But first things first. We need to determine if climbing is even an option. The more I look, the less likely it seems. Y'shtola is right to be worried. But flying may be our only choice after all.
There you are. Master Alphino was afeard you had met with some misfortune.
Urianger. And you too, Exarch. What brings you here?
I wish to observe the final struggle with my own eyes. I arrived at Bottom Rung too late to accompany you, but I was in time to join Urianger and the others. Come, let us see how this unfolds.
Seems flying is off the table.
If we have learned that much, then the Machina have served their purpose.
Ah, so that's what they were for. Wasteful, but effective.
It would seem our foe will not be reached by land or air. We must needs withdraw to consider another course. Master Alphino waiteth for us atop Rung. Thither should we make our way.
In short, there's no path, and the sky is thick with Vorthri's winged devils.
We might consider Amaro, but without extensive training, we cannot hope to contend with the Eaters. Yulmor's airship fleet, meanwhile, consists solely of transport vessels ill-suited for battle. And without the expertise of one such as Cid, we are in no position to attempt a refit.
Frustrating! That wretched mountain should jolly well come back down to earth!
Now, dearest, we mustn't disturb these good people at their work. We've ridden the ladder and seen the sights. It's past time we took our leave.
The lady may well have the right of it. Mount Gulg will not soon come down to Earth, nor can we compel it to do so. But if the mountain will not come to the land, mayhap the land may be made to come to the mountain. In the form of a Talos large enough to reach out and take the volcano in its grasp.
build such a golem would be an onerous undertaking indeed, yet the principle seemeth sound in itself.
Boulder Dash! No one has ever made one even half that size. Leaving aside the small matter of logistics, which, by the way, would be no small matter, the design would be unimaginably complex. Though, I suppose, if its only function is to cling to the ruddy mountain, perhaps it needn't be. Solid base, firmly rooted to the ground, sacrifice mobility to simplify the construction, reducing materials required. Wait, what am I thinking? We would still need a veritable army of people to do the work. Left to the crew that helped down below, it would take decades, if not a nice round century.
So we need more hands. And what sort of things would these hands be required to do?
Let's see. First, we need people to procure the stone for the chassis. The rock found near the mountain would suit our purposes well enough. It'd be a simple task to quarry the stuff, but given the stupendous quantity required, we'd need all the help we can get.
We have friends amongst the miners of Armorain. I will go and petition their aid.
While you do that, I'll make for Mordsuk. I'm sure I'll be able to drum up some support.
Then I shall return to Kholusia. From fishers to carpenters, Yulmore is home to all manner of talented folk. I dare say their skills will avail us.
Is there anything else you need?
Well, yes, actually. Magic. Lots of the stuff, as much as possible. To awaken a talus of this size would require an entire congregation of mages.
Many among the Knights Blessed are gifted in the arcane arts. I will recruit them to our cause.
The Fey folk, too, possess surpassing aptitude in magics. Yet they are not wont to cooperate in the endeavors of men. Leastwise, not without making all manner of mischief. That being the case, I would instead call upon the people of the Crystarium, with thy permission, Exarch.
We are at your disposal, as are our Amaro and Chocobos.
I'm sorry. You mean to tell me you can call on not only the people of Yulmore and the Crystarium, but the Knights Blessed and the Maw, and even those miners? But that's just about everyone in Ballynorvrand. Who are you people? And how did you come to have so many friends?
Dearest, have you forgotten already? Alfino told us that when we first met.
Actually, that may not have been... never mind.
So, as you can see, you will not want for bodies. I trust you will have your design ready in good time for their arrival. Norvrant is counting on you, heir to Daedalus Stoneworks.
We'll be back as soon as we can, and we'll bring the whole world with us.
I take it we will be assisting Master Chai, though I am quite sure he has everything under control. The future is where my destiny awaits. Forgive me, I was lost in a dream. I needed some fresh air and thought to rest for a moment. It would seem I am more fatigued than I realized. Too much time away from the tower, I fear. It drains me, leaves my body frail and weak. Though, in truth, it is debatable whether I can still call this my body. When first I turned my mind towards the salvation of the world, I came to the conclusion that it would take many long years, many more than remain to me. And so I made myself one with the Crystal Tower, that I might live indefinitely. I am but an extension of it now, hence my weakness the farther I travel, and the longer I am away. It has been quite a journey. But thanks to you, the end is in sight. My wish will finally be fulfilled. How goes the construction effort? Then this may be the last moment we have to ourselves for a while. Come, sit with me. Tell me, when all of this is over, what will you do? Ah, yes. Even should we succeed in forestalling the 8th Umbral Calamity, the spectre of war will remain. But to declare your intent with such easy resolve, you truly are a hero's hero, my friend. But whatever it is you decide to do, I have every confidence that you will do well. For you have the strength to forge your own path. You will leave countless lives better than you found them, and the souls you touch will never forget your kindness. Then, in trying times, when you question your worth and your choices, they will raise their voices to remind you of the difference you have made. And thus will your deeds come to affirm your path. Remember this. When this is over, indeed. I once told you that there are things we can ill afford to lose. Things, I said, though in truth, I spoke of a person. One who is unaware of the full extent of my plans. Though he deserves to know, I have good reason to keep my counsel. I have come to terms with this in my mind. Yet my heart yearns to lay everything bare. For he is my inspiration, and I would give much and more for the chance to speak with him as friends, with no thought of concealment. Should he indulge me with his tales, I would regale him with my own about my efforts in Northrend, perhaps. Though, ultimately, that tale is more yours than it is mine. Then, I would ask him about his next adventure. And if he should wish me to be a part of it, oh, how happy it would make me. Together we would travel the lands and cross the seas and take to the skies upon the eternal wind. My heart swells simply to imagine it. But all of this is contingent upon our victory in the coming battle. The people of this world have entrusted their hopes to us. We cannot fail them. Nor those who roused me from my slumber. Thank you for your company, my friend. Let us return to Amity.
Word from the Exarch. All is set on his side, and we may proceed when ready.
Well, we have sufficient stone for our needs.
Likewise, preparations for the imbuing have been made according to thine exacting instructions.
Then you need only say the word.
Let us begin. See that everyone is in position. We shall catch Vorthri, mountain and all.
Here it comes! You've not lost your touch, you clever old bugger!
See what they're doing? If its hands are damaged, it won't be able to cling to the mountain. Oh, I knew this was a terrible idea.
Vorthri marshals the Eaters to his defense. This was only to be expected. We must try and draw as many of them down to the ground as possible. It may not be enough, but we have no other choice. Is that?
Such heartless thing our sapling is, cold and cruel and heartless! Summon us in times of need, we expressly said, yet what should we find but the final battle joined without so much as a whisper of our name? yes, we may also have said that we fae folk have no interest in the struggles of men. But if our adorable sapling had come crying to us for help, we would of course have flown to his aid. Of course we would. What are we to do with him? We are so very, very sad. You will play with us. Cheer us up again!
This I did not expect, but I will gladly accept their help. I will send word to Y'shtola and the others. Join them at the foot of Mount Gulg and be ready to make the ascent.
So it is you. You will not defile my new paradise. Prepare yourself!
You underestimate me.
die like insects! I will not suffer it! Righteousness! And righteousness will prevail! Prepare yourself! Can't you do anything by yourselves? Damn you! I don't care what it takes! Keep your guard up!
Focus. Release! Leave the healing to me. The end is near, my friends. We have found Vorthra's hiding place.
Unrepentant villains! Will you not be satisfied until you have brought disaster down upon your heads? By your wickedness, you stand to gain naught but ceaseless conflict. Had you only entrusted fate to me, there would have been peace for all. You could have lived bliss in my eternal paradise, free from the burdens of conscience and purpose.
Peace assumes many forms. And I do not doubt that you considered yours well worth the cost. I was even prepared to believe that the end might justify the means. Ignorant as I was, I had hoped that you might mend your ways and join hands with us. That we might strive together for the happiness of all. But no more. Your actions cannot be reconciled with your words. Peace for all, you say? Yet when you were threatened, your first act was to sacrifice your own people in order to save yourself. If your paradise can be rebuilt so long as you alone survive, it exists not for the people. It exists solely for your twisted pleasure.
Hear me, Vorthri. The people won't submit to your will, for we each have our own. I made a promise to a noble soul. A woman who saw fit to entrust me with her legacy, and I mean to keep it. Everyone who stands with us has something precious, something that they cherish and would die to protect. They know their own hearts. They know what they want for this world. And by lending their strength to our cause, they have spoken. No matter how hard you may try to bend the world to your will, we will never yield!
Silence! Not another word! You presume to lecture me. Insolent worms. You will learn your place. With my true powers awakened, I will expunge you like the filth you are. Your demise will serve as a reminder to all. that I am the zenith of mankind and Shinita both, chosen to rule over creation by right of transcendence. My very existence is virtuous. I am perfect, immaculate.
He seems disinclined to grant us an audience.
Find Vorthree. We will hold the Eaters here. Come! Let's finish this!
Are you so determined to die? One last chance, villains! Bow down and acknowledge your king! Your god! To me, my servants! Feast upon these villains and their vile sin! I will crush you! Fine, if you refuse to die! I will strip you of the illusion of will! Then you will suffer! Yes! That will be your punishment! Receive of me my blessing and rise higher! I will crush you! Suffer, suffer, suffer! Suffer and know your vomit! Damn you! Why do you not fall? Why? It burns! It burns! I shall explain the sin of your existence! I cast down? But it is you who are the villains. Father told me that I am hope. I am righteousness. That I am a god. That is why I was born. As man and sin eater both. I kept the people safe. They respected me. Worshipped me. How can this be? I should be the one looking down at you. Help me, damn you! I am your god!
Look, the sky.
Are you all right? Say something!
12 for Fend. He cannot contain the light. He's beginning to turn. Urianger, if you've aught up your sleeve, now is the time.
It's changing back.
The combined power of every Light Warden is too terrible a burden for any one soul to bear. And so I shall relieve you of it.
Exarch, what are you doing?
I will channel this profusion of power to the Crystal Tower and use it to travel to other worlds. As I have dreamed of doing ever since I first learned of their existence. Who would choose to remain here in this dying realm when they might go elsewhere and begin anew? Not I. And thus did I use you.
No, I don't believe you. It doesn't make sense.
Damn you! We won't let you do with him as you please.
Do not interfere! Please, I beseech you all, let him go!
You knew of this, Urianger. Tis all a fiction. Such vaguely defined acts of teleportation stand no chance of success. The Exarch will never live to see another world, as he knows only too well.
Then, what does he mean to do?
He means to take the light with him into the rift, where he will die. From the beginning, he intended to sacrifice himself to save our friend and Norvrend.
At journey's end, an opportunistic thief makes off with the hero's prize. A paltry way to end a chapter, I concede. Yet your tale will continue, and my role in it will scarcely be remembered. Worry not. Whatever should become of me, I will be happy and free, safe in the knowledge that I have played my part. Thank you for fighting for this world, for believing. Fare you well, my friend. My inspiration.
Only those who possess the royal eye of the Allagan Imperial line are capable of controlling the Crystal Tower. Such individuals do not exist in the First. Therefore, in all likelihood, the Exarch arrived here with the tower. This much I had surmised, yet I could not discern his grand scheme. To think that he went through all this trouble for the sake of a single hero. It's almost admirable in its absurdity. Alas, it is not your grand scheme that will succeed, but ours.
You bastard!
Stay put. Your friend is still alive, but whether he remains so depends on you. What a disappointment you turned out to be. I placed my faith in you, let myself believe that you could contain the light. But look at you now, halfway to becoming a monster. You are unworthy of my patronage. I am an Ascian. My heart's sole desire is to usher in the great rejoining. 100 years ago, I entrusted my comrade Logriff with the task of increasing light's sway over this world. This we sought to do by manipulating heroes. When that failed to achieve the desired result, I created Vorthri. Thanks to your meddling, that too has ended in failure.
What was your true purpose in approaching us?
By your 12, boy, have I not told you before that everything I said was the truth? You were specimens by which I might gauge man's potential as it stands. I genuinely had an interest in you, genuinely considered taking you on as allies. Provided he could contain and control the light. If not, then he, and by extension you, would be of no use to me. 'Twas as simple as that.
So, we've been found wanting. How disheartening. But even had we fulfilled your conditions, there was no guarantee that we would cooperate. What then?
Then I simply kill you all. At the very least, it would restore the world to the way it was before you went about trouncing Light Wardens willy-nilly. Suffice it to say, it would be most inconvenient to have all that light taken away. And I would be lying if I were to claim his actions didn't have me worried. You still retain your form and your senses. But you have all but become a Sin Eater. Whether you will it or no, your mere existence will serve to engulf the world in light. Those in your company will likewise turn into Sin Eaters, and in time you will succumb to your base instincts and hunt innocents to feast on their sweet, sweet ether. Those few with the will left to fight may rise up against you, But before your absolute might, they will quickly know despair. There is no hope. We are finished. Mankind is finished. Ah, the irony. What Vorthri achieved through bliss, you achieved through despair.
But I have overstayed my welcome. I shall look forward to seeing you bring the world to its knees, hero.
Exarch!
I have naught to show for all the time and effort I invested in you. He is a small token for my troubles. I did not expect that I could learn aught from man, but I may yet learn something from all the knowledge he had hoarded for his precious hero. I pity you, I do. Your friends are now your foes. If you do not kill them, they will kill you. When it all becomes too much to bear, seek me out at my abode in the dark depths of the Tempest. There, you may complete your descent into madness, with some dignity, far from prying eyes. Till then, I bid you farewell. Eater.